What's going on, fellow gamblers? Welcome back to the channel. Today is Thursday, October 30th. Pretty good day yesterday, guys. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, though. First of all, I'm going to spend a little bit of time recapping the NBA plays from yesterday. Doing a little crossover video here this time. I got three picks for today. I got one of mine. One of them is probably my favorite bet. That's going to be my last one. And then I have a NBA bet and then a NFL bet as well. So make sure you stay for all of those because I really, really like what we got today. But first, guys, let's just quick spend 30 seconds and recap yesterday. So yesterday we had Cade Cunningham over 24.5 points, which was a winner. That was pretty easy. Got a ton of shots. Magic continued to be pretty switch heavy or very switch heavy. And, they're really funneling stuff to the cup. So Cade had a lot of success at the rim. RJ Barrett over 1.5 threes. That came through as well. He did okay. I think he got a 5 threes. So for a 1.5 line with minimal juice, we'll take it there. Shaden Sharp was a loser. Actually, let's stick on with the winner. So this one was an ad. I had Donovan Mitchell under 28.5 points, guys. And note this going forward. The Celtics, I was watching that game, guys. Like I said, note this going forward. They were absolutely face guarding the hell out of Donovan Mitchell. He had like 5 threes super early, and they were still face guarding him. He was just making everything. But Celtics are leaking spot ups this year, and that was some really, really aggressive stuff that they had against Donovan Mitchell. So keep that in mind going forward. And then, guys, I guess the last winner I had was Cam Johnson over 1.5 threes. It was kind of a weird play. I split it with over 2.5. Didn't get the volume I wanted. He did hit 2 for 4, which was kind of lucky, but yeah. And then, guys, Shaden Sharp over 2.5 assists. Ugly, ugly, ugly. That dude does not pass the rock. And Tiago Splitter is running some weird rotations. So free Chauncey. Anyways, guys, the first official play, I am going with Alex Sarr of the OKC Thunder. I'm taking him under 14.5 points. Best current price is at Caesars, DraftKings, and Bet Online. So, guys, I am selling high. So I instantly see he had 2 good games. You know me, I like to sell high and buy low. He was going up against Joel Embiid, guys, who literally cannot move whatsoever right now. So he had a great game, but I like that, man, because if he had a shit game, his number would be lower, right, guys? At the end of the day, this is a market, and I am treating it as such. So I think it's a good sell high spot, first of all. But I mean, second of all, brutal matchup against OKC. So OKC, first of all, let's look at Sarr's minutes. He's had 26, 26, 25, and then 29 regulation minutes. Obviously, he had 34, but the game went to overtime. So he's really not playing big minutes at all. OKC, guys, this year, if we go to like cover over, we can go to like advanced filters, points in the paint. They are allowing the 4th fewest points in the paint. Obviously, a very good paint defense. Their defensive scheme is to kind of leave the corners open and help and take away the paint. So Alex Sarr, guys, he's leading the team. 69% of his shots are coming from within 10 feet. If we can look down lower at this props madness sheet, we can see that, they're not allowing a lot in the restricted area. They're not allowing stuff there either, but that's 74% of his points are coming from the paint overall. And like I said, OKC hover over it here, 4th fewest points in the paint. So kind of a brutal matchup, guys. Obviously, just individual matchup with Isaiah Hartenstein is going to be tough, right? Isaiah Hartenstein's a good defender. He's very physical. He will give up some pick and pop stuff here and there, but that's about it. Like in the paint stuff, which is where Sarr has really been feasting this year, it's going to be pretty tough. So if we go to teams who allow like bottom half of the league points in the paint last year, and then we do the minutes filter, we can go to over here and do minutes. Like I said, I think that a good minute projection for him is probably going to be like 24 to 32. Pencil him right in for 28. He's not under in like a ton. It's about like half the games, but guys, even if you just take away this, just go to like max amount of games. He was under in a lot more than he was with 24 to 32 minutes. So yeah, I think this is a pretty brutal matchup for Alex Sarr. They're just not going to give up stuff in the paint. Obviously, we can look at the spread. It's a 15.5 point spread. They have like a young center named Tristan Vukcevic, who should get a lot of the garbage time if that's going to be the case. So not too worried about that. So yeah, guys, selling high on Alex Sarr here. Went over, against the Embiid, and but yeah, Think that this is a touch high. All right, let's go zigzag here to NFL. And I'm not going to overthink this one, man. I'm playing Derrick Henry over 89 and a half rushing yards. Obviously, guys, Lamar Jackson is back. So that's obviously big. Let's go to games with Lamar Jackson, first of all, because that's important. But also, guys, they're playing the Dolphins. I know that the Dolphins are coming off of a big win, but the Ravens defense is pretty healthy. Obviously, Lamar's healthy. 7.5 point spread. I personally think that the Ravens win by margin here. But you can just look at Ravens in wins and go to all time with Lamar Jackson with Baltimore, and then go back to here in wins. So Derrick Henry in wins is averaging 127 rushing yards. He's over in 11 out of 14. Go to like wins by 3 plus. Gets even better, 11 out of 13. Obviously, guys, Miami, their run defense is pretty poor. They're allowing they're allowing the third most rushing yards on the year, third most rushing yards to running backs as well. And look, man, I'm just not going to overthink this one. Like, we got Derrick Henry in what should be a very positive game script. Lamar Jackson is back, so now you have a passing game that you have to respect. You also have to respect his legs, which is going to open up holes. And Derrick Henry is just a very, very, game script dependent running back, right? Like in losses, he's under even with Lamar in losses, he's under an 8 out of 9 games, and then just like you flip it over to in wins. He's just very game script dependent, guys. I mean, this is a top tier matchup, top tier game script. I know the Dolphins won by margin last game against the Falcons. I'm not buying it. I still think this team sucks. So I think that Derrick Henry's in a pretty damn good spot. A couple of other things, guys. If you look at props madness, man, I mean, like you look at like what his line was like closing at, right? So like in my opinion, I mean the running backs against Dolphins is like a top. I know it didn't come to fruition last week, but I think it's like a top 3 matchup in the league. You just like look at like what he closed at. If you like hover over here, he closed at 86 and a half last week. Now Lamar's in, right? I mean, that's a huge increase. Obviously, like these games are kind of dicey. 80 and a half against Kansas City, which obviously has game script concerns. They're obviously a better run defense there. Against Detroit, he closed 84 and a half. Another one with a team that can actually compete and has a good run defense. Then he closed 97 and a half against the Browns, who, yes, they're a shitty team, but they are one of the best run defenses in the league. So you're just getting like best of both worlds here against Miami, man. It's brutal run defense, brutal, a very positive game script. So this is just like reeks of a Derrick Henry game. So I'm not trying to overthink this one. We're taking him over 89 and a half rushing yards. All right. Third and final play, guys. This is my favorite play. And if you're still here, make sure to drop a like and sub to the channel. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. It helps the channel grow a ton. We're zigging back to the Association of National Basketball. This is my favorite play, guys. I'm going with Steph Curry over 31 and a half points and assists. Looks like it moved to 32 and a half. Still one out there at MGM. And at this point, guys, I'd probably just go with 26 and a half points. But both are fine. Obviously, 31 and a half points and assists, if you can play that, play that. But 26 and a half points, I think, is the better look at this point. So, oh my gosh, and I forgot to even do that. So Derrick Henry was the second play. Steph Curry over 31 and a half points and assists is the final play. So, guys, Stephen Curry, I think it's a good buy spot. If you look at the last couple games, obviously he had some good games there. Here's the thing, guys. Back to back, 4 straight back to backs for Stephen Curry. So I think that this is just like a good spot for like the starters' minutes to come up a little bit. First of all, second of all, guys, the Bucks. If we go down here, they're allowing a lot of stuff to pick and roll handler, but this isn't going to be shown on Props Madness. But they are allowing the highest pull up frequency on the year. They're a really big team, so I think that they have the personnel to slow down Kuminga for sure. Also have the personnel and the rim protection to slow down Butler. But yeah, guys, these big teams just really struggle with guarding Steph Curry. And this is probably my favorite part of the play. If we go to last year, head to head, still coached by Doc Rivers. Obviously, the only main thing is no Lillard, but that doesn't matter a ton for defense. Brook Lopez is out, Miles Turner's in. You're replacing him with another big. Steph Curry against the Bucks last year had 38 points, 4 assists. Big thing here is if you just hover over his points, he had 16 3-pointers attempted. Um, and guys, like I said, man, the Bucks they're just like a big team. They're still coached by Doc Rivers. Obviously, Doc Rivers is not exactly known for making big time adjustments, especially on a game to game basis in a regular season. So yeah, look, and another thing that I like too is 2.5 point spread. Golden State is at Milwaukee, so I like this game to be close and just like step in like a competitive game. Um, Obviously it's good for minutes, but it's also just good for him, putting the throttle on a team. So really like Steph Curry here, man. I think it's a really good buy spot. I think his minutes are going to come up, and had really good game against the Bucks. Really good volume from deep in specific, 16 threes. And yeah, man, there's a big team. They're allowing the most pull ups. I think that there is a lot to like about Stephen Curry. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it. Three plays. Alex Sarr under 14.5 points. Derrick Henry over 89.5 rushing yards. And then Steph Curry over 31.5 points and assists are the three plays. Thank you guys for tuning in. It is greatly appreciated. Always check out Props Madness if you guys do think that this could be useful for yourself. I think it could be for you personally. Use code SB25, get you 25% off that first month. And yeah, make sure to drop a like, sub on the way out, and we'll be live streaming at 6:15 tonight. So also tap into that. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a good one.